Hey guys, have you heard about COVID? No, me neither. But what I've did heard is the purge is coming. Yeah, the history is not gonna be repeated because nobody fucking liked the whole pandemic anyways, so we're just not gonna repeat it, you know? It's a government creation in a way. Not that I'm trying to spread misinformation, it's just that's the front lines of what's going on. The lockdown is government creation. The mask mandate is government creation. All right. COVID, I don't know what that is. I don't know. It's an invisible thing. I don't know who created it necessarily. Sounds like a government creation to me though, because that would be ridiculously convenient. But I'm not here to spread misinformation. I'm just here to ask questions. Absolutely. Not conspiracy theories. And I'm not really being sarcastic. Because I'm supposed to be YouTube CEO and I supposed to understand what the fuck I'm doing, right? So let's start talking about the purge. Because you guys need to educate yourselves as well as I am on what the fuck do we do when this happens. Because the purge is slightly different than a lockdown. Slightly different. Except, it's kind of unpredictable. The purge. And how it works. The only thing predictable about the purge is it will happen. Why would it happen? Well, we can start unlocking the understanding. First of all, we have too many problems and not enough brain cells. So the easiest way to solve problems when you don't have enough brain cells is to turn yourself into a monkey and throw yourself into the nearest problem and just see what happens. But who's gonna do it? Jordan Peterson is not gonna do it over his dead body. Technically, he just self-sacrificed himself anyways. But at the same time, it's gonna be this Area 52 moment where, like, you're an influencer, you told us to go here, but we're scared. We want to see you go first because you're the leader. You have to do things first, man. Like, you gotta do things. Guys, when it comes to the purge, still, do not look at me. I'm not an influencer. I'm just here to solve problems right now. And I don't even know if I'll be qualified to be an influencer to begin with, to be the leader of actually taking action. Like, you do it yourself, my friends. I'm sorry, bro. I don't know your life situation. Everyone's action is slightly different. You have been taking action in your life way more than I did. I can't fucking go outside of my fucking room. Lockdown has been 24/7, non-stop, forever and ever in my life. So whatever government is trying to do is just trying to manifest the weakest link in a way. All right? Government is just very willing to downgrade everyone to my lifestyle. Why would they do that? Again, government sees everything and they don't want people to go too fast. Because if they grow too fast, if they go outside and they do things together that, create jealousy and inequality, that's a disease, all right? So COVID, we figured out what it is. COVID is simply inequality disease of people going outside and getting ahead of you. If you don't go outside, if you don't socialize, someone else is going outside and socializing and is getting ahead of you, and you should be pissed. So the first thing we have learned about the purge, and it's going to be marked with a star, yes, the main problem is not the government, but other people. Alright? That was always the problem. It's not the government that's gonna enforce anything upon you, but the police is gonna, you know, hunt you down if you don't wear a mask. Someone is gonna tell you that, oh my god, he's not wearing a mask. How is that possible? You need, you know, people gonna mandate you. People gonna enforce government, you know, regulation upon you. They're just gonna do it. All right? They're just gonna bow down to the government. Now, will that happen again? I don't know, man. There's gonna be a splitty split because everyone has, you know, dissected this whole operation in a different way. I still got this all of this information is super fresh, and you will never get this take from anyone else because I've been ahead of the information war forever, basically. As YouTube CEO, I'm not only I have to be on the edge of technology and understand what the fuck is going on with AI and all that stuff. Basically, to cut it short, nothing's going on. All right, I just found Face ID, and I can summon ChatGPT if I want to. If I want to rhyme something. What rhymes with crimes? Times, climbs, sublime, mimes. Those motherfucking mimes, bro. I knew it. I knew they were evil. Yeah, people are getting ahead of you because they're socializing, and that's usually how you get ahead. I'm not necessarily saying that this is, you know, the most straightforward way, especially if social interactions are kind of like mostly negative, right? Then you don't get ahead, unfortunately. Then the weakest link is actually growing a lot faster, and people have to pay attention, you know, of how to grow in that sort of situation, right? So, as much as government knows, it also has this paranoid feeling of like, how do we actually force people to do things even though like they will not comply, right? We have to craft some kind of story. We have to craft some kind of, you know, conspire against people and lie to them, basically. So government doesn't really conspire, they just lie. So we pay attention by force, you know. So now we know COVID is government creation, 100%. All right. And we know that any invisible force is government creation, 100%. No? Okay, 50%, because anyone can be authority. We don't know that everything comes from government. Government is just going to cover a lot of ground when it comes to governism, you know, the force of the system that, you know, makes us compliant, and we need to be compliant to be predictable. I literally just found this soundbite, but apparently that works.
What do you mean? I'm not that predictable, right?
But sometimes you have to be predictable. In fact, the only time I was able to squeeze subscribers out of YouTube is by becoming predictable, by becoming like a Hearthstone player and uploading content that is predictable. Like, you will not get anything else but 1 hour of Hearthstone. And people have to just concede to the idea that, well, I only upload 1 hour of content of Hearthstone. You're not going to get anything else. But you're also going to get Hearthstone content, so maybe you like it. I don't know, maybe you get in tune and not be afraid of 1 hour videos anymore. See the funny thing? So I had to split my channel for greater success after I split my channel and made my thumbnails a lot better. I have a greater success now. Now, I would have had a similar success, but it would have made me uncomfortable of like every time I upload non-Hearthstone content, like someone's gonna leave. Just someone's gonna fucking say no to that. It may never return. Just to be more predictable. Now, the purge, as I've said, is the opposite of government compliance, is just straight up about being unpredictable. And we're approaching a whole new chapter in life. And again, we're not fighting governments, we're fighting governism. All right? So there's plenty of people who just gonna fall into the trap of acting like authorities when you're not supposed to do that anymore. It's not the right role to play, unfortunately. Similarly, you would have been crushed if you acted like an innocent little civilian, you know, doing their little thing against all odds, right? So just trying to operate as if nothing is going on, even though COVID is going on, or complaining all the time without being able to adapt, right? So I will explain the whole thing because there's a whole timeline basically going on, and it is predictable. The timeline itself is predictable, but what's gonna happen is all up to you, my friends. I can tell you my plans. My plans is to sit in one room and talk about stuff. That's pretty good plans, right? I was able to explain my plans very quickly. And I don't know what your plans are, because anything else could potentially kill you. You know, you should be very happy that the changes are coming, of whatever they are. They usually will come in the form of experience, right? Everything changes, but only as an experience. So capture as much as you can. I cannot go outside, but maybe someone can go outside and will capture some more extra experience. I can't do that shit, alright? The only thing I can do is declare where I live. Very convenient timing, by the way, motherfuckers. But I'll take some money, thank you very much. And I will craft a pitchfork if I need to, you know, fight the devil. Because I think the devil also has a pitchfork. It will be completely fair fight. So, I get... Wait. Okay, so, yeah, the only predictable things about the Purge. You need weapons to defend yourself. I'm just saying, you'll need some of that. Because anyone can pose as an authority and try and pin you down. People will do some of that shit. But again, they will only chase the weakest links, people who they think they can actually damage. Someone like myself who doesn't go outside, you know. I will always just be in danger. The endangered species. Like, I was thrown into the hospital because some fucking bitch old woman asked for money. Like, I was thrown in a hospital for a year. I couldn't control myself, it seems like. But like, beyond that point, beyond also losing a lot of reputation just saying that out loud, there's Russia on Lithuanian's border, pretty much, because Belarus and stuff, and there's Kaliningrad and all that shit. It's literally on our border, and we have to like be super alert if anything happens. So I'm literally in the crossfire all the time. There's like I was I was seeing things in the hospital of like how COVID was handled, and how fucking vicious it was. I wasn't even able to, pick up books to read, which was one of my only go-to entertainment things, because people around me were not very social, let's put it that way. They were not that interesting to talk to or interact, because it starts with interaction and not talking. It starts with like playing chess basically. But it's just so boring. Like people around me are so boring because they're just they're just dumb. They have nothing to do. They have no good ideas. And I have to like carry the whole fucking vibe to be able to take advantage of that. Like and people who are somewhat my level of intelligence, they got out like half a year in. Like that's a fucking miracle. Everyone just, it's like, how is that possible? You can't get out after half a year. You have to wait a whole year, which is what I did. Waited 13 months to get out of that fucking prison. And I'm still hooked, to medication and all that shit. Government is kind of ruthless when it gets corrupted. I completely understand. I sit in a hospital environment, chill for 1 year. I am completely safe. All right. But there's two what ifs that they don't fucking think about. What the fuck whatsoever. All right. So let's talk about government corruption because that's important. Government corruption. Two what ifs that could have killed me. All right, you guys want to listen to that? Because that shit's also important for the purge, for you to be upset about authorities and all that shit. So, medication started destroying me. I was barely able to function at that point. They just started injecting me with, poison. Because, like, if you go outside of the hospital, you need poison. Every month we have to just inject poison. So we know that you take poison. We need to know, because we're not going to be safe if we don't know that you take poison. And it started destroying me. It started actually affecting me. Like, the pills didn't fucking do what the fucking injections did. The injections just destroyed me, bro. I was unable to function, 1/3 of the time. Just 1/3 of my life was just absolute torture. It wasn't just like a zero where I couldn't get out of my bed. It was just like torture. I get out of my bed and my eyes start rolling, and it's a horrible feeling. I can't lay in my bed, actually. I have to walk around like a zombie and ask for help. It's like, holy shit. And it took a long time until they just took me off of that torturous, who knows what is causing you trouble. And even after they took off that injection, it didn't stop until I got out of the hospital. It didn't stop for a few months. It took a long time for it to wear off all that poison, bro. Because it's not about injections, it's about damage that it did to my body. That's not how it works. You don't just inject something and the injection is going to do the problem. No, it's the damage to your body that's going to do the problem. The damage is already done if your body is malfunctioning. You must understand. My body started malfunctioning and taking my life. My precious time of just living and breathing and enjoying life and not doing any harm to anyone, which I wasn't doing, but the government still want to fucking put handcuffs on me at all times. So it's not about me anymore, it's about them being scared of fucking something, right? Or they're just overly doing their job. Who knows what the fuck is going on? They just want to look good, and they just want to paint me as a supervillain, to be honest. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You're scared. Maybe you should be. But the worst part of all, we're not gonna just switch to the second thing that was terrifying. Alright? We're not gonna switch to that. Maybe there's more technically. We're just gonna talk about the hospital experience at this point. Well, man, we gotta hurry up, but we have like 2 hours. Alright? So you better fucking sit back and chill, because your mind is gonna be blown every step of the way. You know, I'm not a weak person. I didn't drink and smoke and all that shit. I would have been killed. But there's a second thing that would have killed me. And I was just gonna put it real simply. Alright, so injections and connection. Alright. We're gonna talk about connection soon enough, but so past this point, yeah, you're scared. Maybe you should be. But it's not just the government. You see, when corruption happens, corruption doesn't happen in the government. Corruption, as I've said, when my body starts malfunctioning, I've already taken damage. Alright, and it will take a long time for it to heal back to, you know, original state. Because your body is constantly healing. Alright, and what medication is supposed to do is supposed to cripple you. It's a crippling effect so you stop doing crime. You know, just because you're capable. But that's one thing they stopped testing. You know, government stopped testing if I wanted to do crime really badly. They just stopped doing that and pretended that you will want to do crime very badly by default. And when you do that sort of self-corruption like that, I mean, I'm sorry, bro. The moment you think I have no control over myself, there's something going on. They're not scared of me, they're scared of the society itself. Alright? From now on, government is gov because, like, fucking hell, why do I type this word? Wait, we're gonna type it so many times. So gov is corrupted, but society gets corrupted first. And so the funny thing happened, you know, right after I get out of this whole situation, not long time into it, so it was 2022 when I get out. I'll show you what happens. The most powerful thing happened. First of all, I noticed that people started lurking around and searching for me. You know, how convenient. It's about time to search for me because, you know, something's going on. Something's wrong. Holy shit. That's the corruption number one. Corruption number one. Maybe don't look for people when you didn't care when they were around. Alright? If you don't care when a person is around, don't look for them. Because you're gonna be on my blacklist now. It was a joke at school that I have a blacklist of people that just deserve to die. Now I have one. Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting me while I was away in nowhere. All right? Now you're in the blacklist Because you have to fucking explain your fucking behavior. Why you were not around when I was around. Alright? Geo has nothing to do with this. She seems clean. But everyone else just kind of like, you know, weird and stuff. But I'll clean them from the blacklist. I just know that there's corruption. Like, you're not supposed to be so excited that someone disappeared and so concerned that you're somehow gonna solve this problem and spread the information about me being missing. Like, fuck that shit, bro. Now I get in trouble if I'm missing for some weird things, you know? If someone is trying to incriminate me or whatever. What the fuck? Relax. I die, bro. No big deal. But to just start spreading around your fucking legs just because something happened. Like, you don't give a fuck now. You know, like, right now I'm super duper active. No one gives a fuck. I have to actually talk to them myself. But when I disappeared, oh my god, it matters. And I am sorry, bro. That is fucked up. So that's what I found on Discord. You know, they were chatting with each other of like, is he back? What's going on? Again, Geo kind of cared, but as a, you know, young adult, she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. I just kind of dragged her in here, and she like, well, I gotta do something, you know, that other people care about. It's not about me, it's more like about other people. That's what she responds to. So it makes her slightly more evil than good. I can't even trust my mom necessarily. Like, this some twisted shit. But like, yeah. Now, how do you test this thing, right? Because even on TikTok, I've heard a story and it just kind of resonates with me of like someone faking their death and just seeing what people will do about it. Because people respond to that very quickly. Just someone's death. They respond to that. They don't respond to anything else. You know, because death means like, oh, there's free space. We have to take free space. Yeah. In other words, people respond to someone's death more than someone's life. And that should scare the shit out of you because, again, that just shows immorality. Just basic immorality. It's something that you can even forget yourself. Of like, oh shit, I'm doing this thing, right? And you just have to snap out of it as quickly as possible. Meaning that another thing that is predictable about the purge is the reason why the purge is happening. People have to snap out of immoral behavior like this. It doesn't make sense. For me, you know, like, if you get in my way, I will care about you. It doesn't matter. Dead or alive you are. You're not gonna attract me by default unless some kind of drama is going on. Then I have no control over that either. But I'm not gonna try and act of like, wow, I'm definitely doing this on my own terms and not just being dragged by, you know, drama. Now, there was another dude who's still around who said like, oh, my town is like very small, like everyone would talk about someone's death. Like, holy shit, bro. I'm not gonna fucking highlight. It's the Neo dude. But yeah, I'm not saying he's wrong, and I'm not saying that young people should be on a blacklist of any kind. I'm just saying there are now. So congratulations. You gotta clean up your record, especially after he fucking stole 2 hard drives, conveniently enough, without me really sensing the problem that was occurring under my nose. Fucking 2 hard drives. Could have just waited. Could have just fucking waited. I would have... Yeah, I would have gotten my phone and all that shit. I don't know, man. Maybe even 3 hard drives. Fucking hell, bro. There's a lot of fucking weird shit that this guy scammed me out of. Because it's very difficult to keep track of everything. Someone asks you to do something, you just kind of like, well, you're my friend technically, whatever. And you don't think about it much. But right now, I don't think anyone cares about anyone else. Like, at some point, immorality just stacks, and at some point, bullshit stacks so hard. I care about everyone, alright? I don't want anyone to get harmed. But everyone else just stacked just enough immorality so where it doesn't fucking matter. Like, even Lauren, putting all this stuff together, doesn't really care about you personally. She just wants you to stop the lockdown because lockdown is very bad, guys. Alright? And it's gonna cripple the economy even more. This is the perspective that you're looking into, but you don't understand what kind of problem we're trying to solve here. You know, we're not spreading COVID, the government COVID. We're just invoking people to pay attention to the same thing all over again, so they get very, very annoyed. Like in Canada, by the way, if you live in Canada, what's wrong with you? That's the first thing you should have asked as Lauren Southern. You should have just asked, what's wrong with you, bro? Why live in Canada? But she can't do that. You know, she doesn't have the correct perspective because she didn't fucking care. You know, that's what you should be asking first, because, like, it's unaffordable to live in Canada. It's just impossible. It's impossible for anyone to live in Canada. It's too cold. In terms of economy and more economy, because housing and food is just unaffordable. So someone is just trying to kick you out of Canada. You have to, like, pay attention. Just like, you know, whatever Disney was doing or whatever, whoever the actors and writers are striking against. It sounds like Disney to me, and just Disney, just Hollywood Disney type of fucking activity going on. And they're striking against that. But no one actually pays attention just enough to understand they're useless. You're just fucking useless. You got nothing to offer to the economy. You can't solve problems anymore that actually require solving, because immorality just keeps on growing, you know. So that's another thing. Well, it's another thing that explains the star, right? Immorality stacks as problems are not being solved. And then everything sucks. Just everything starts sucking around. But that's fine. We're gonna get deeper and we're gonna understand the deep-seated immoral things. Some of us will. I'm understanding it very clearly, and I have to, like, at least vocalize myself to be able to speak, to just have the skill and be able to deliver to as many people as possible, as quickly as possible, of like, look into this video, look into that video, I predicted this and that and this for those. You know, I'm aware of what things are going on, because that's all I can do. Just be aware, because I'm completely paralyzed otherwise. There's nothing I can do that's actually going to make any progress. And in a way, even that hospitalization was my mistake. All right? The way that I approached the problem, I was not patient enough. And now I still have to, you know, somewhat suffer. I say it was a natural occurrence. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't commit my own problem. You know, I can't just say that it was 100% just a natural occurrence. and I got too upset, and I just had to do something. You know, there were options, no problem. There were plenty of options, and I had to learn that mistake as well. So of course, I'm not saying I did everything right. It's just when I did something wrong, everything went wrong. And it's very scary, you know. When you do something wrong, immoral people stack shit on top of you. You know, the moment you do something wrong, you become the platform for bullshit to get stacked on. And holy shit, man. Holy shit, it's difficult to escape. Because they just take one bad thing that you do, and now they can strategize around it. So the best thing is just to remain silent, to be honest. You know? So my frustration didn't stop there. I just had to be silent and then say absolutely nothing to anyone about what I did wrong. And if I know what I did right, then I can talk about it. If they're actually interested in something, we can talk about it. But saying what I did wrong is just gonna put me in a compromising spot. Obviously, I don't know how it would have played out if I did the better things. It would have not been different. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. So you can't just assume that you're the most moral person, especially when it takes a whole lot more than just to be clean, just to be smart. But hey, I'm just a lonely person. And the second thing that would have killed me is, what if my mom wasn't around? You know, if I was completely disconnected from society. Now, the government would have the right to keep me forever. Basically, they would just gain ownership over me, and I would have no escape because there's no one to connect to in society. No one would take care of me, basically, and someone have to step in, you know. Now I'm a mentally ill person, someone has to take care of me. Someone actually has to care. And that shit is fucking torture. If you get stuck there, like, oh my god. There is no escape, basically, because nobody fucking cares. Society's locked up like that. Alright, so that would just instantly killed me. If I spent, 1 year more, I would have just been dead. Alright? Just straight up dead, because at some point your body cannot take the amount of damage that it takes, and they have full control over me, and all that shit. It's just game over at that point. You just die. And at some point, again, you're too deep into it, no one's gonna fucking help you. No one's gonna care that much. They can talk about it all they want. Dead or not dead, they will just decide that their own way. But yeah, so the thing that happened, I'll have to bring up the timeline here. You telling me I can't even fucking navigate this thing? Page up, page down. That's such a pain in the ass, bro. So fucking stupid, but it is what it is. So this whole stunt starts at the end of 2022. Alright. So if I was dead, I would not be able to respond to that. So that's a start. And again, it's not a coincidence that everything is stacked against each other. You can't keep up if you make a terrible mistake on top of terrible mistake. And it still could happen. And I'm like, fucking, I'm scared, and being scared could be a mistake. Like, what is going on, bro? And I feel like the only solution I have is just to work through it. Be patient and not make the same mistake. Because it's too easy to make a mistake when, the wind element is all over the place. it might bump into you and be like, oh shit, you broke a leg. And I did, like, magically, you know. Because now I really want to like rewind and feel like what kind of knowledge did I miss that made me do it, right? Because like I gotta be missing something. But the first thing first is like self-defense. You can't actually defend yourself physically if there's nothing physical going on. So if someone is being annoying, you can still call the cops on them, by the way. But you can't do anything physical because they're not doing anything. And then they're not showing signs of being able to do it. So an old woman just isn't able. This is the principle, but how would I have worked this out myself? It's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult because I never learned like any self-defense skills or any of that shit. But how can I work this out myself? Again, I'm just being suspicious in case, you know, in case it's the government's fault or my fault. In case there's something I should have learned. But it's like very difficult to look back. Like I was just isolating myself. And anyone else like would stress me out really badly. Even like my mom calling someone else, like it's such a stressful experience in general. But like it takes a long time to like dissect it and break it down. So it's pain in the ass. All right, it's definitely pain in the ass. All kinds of things could have went wrong, basically past this point. But the reason I've been so affected is because it's harder and harder to be social. So yet again, I don't think it's my fault or the government's fault. Everything stems from society being at fault. All right? Society, stop being social. You know, we're flooded with NPCs who just pretend. So what these guys try to cover up, basically, you know, they just kind of gather all the classmates of like, oh, let's make a reunion. But the reality is they're just covering something up. You know, they're just pretending like, no, society works. We haven't stopped being social. These people just pretending. And this is how the purge happens, guys. Past this point, you understand this is a tangent. You need to decide if you want to escape. In this tangent, meaning it's my story that I need to tell myself out loud. You might learn something, and the next 2 hours I will try to make sure that everyone learns something. But your commitment towards listening to this and all that shit, you'll care a little bit too much about me and not enough about yourself. There's a danger involved, you know? So just understand, whatever you pay attention now, especially now, whatever you pay attention to now can even incriminate you. Any negativity is gonna be, you know, amplified really fast. Like everything is gonna grow really fast. If there's some kind of fucking bond that bothers you, it's gonna just start stacking up and amplifying. But if there's something good that you're focusing on, like my relationship with this kind of person, I mean, it's gonna become more and more real. So there's a lot of things to go look forward to, but you have to focus on the right things. Absolutely, you can focus on negative things if you can actually solve them, but if you can't, you gotta let it go, basically. So, watch Frozen and learn how to let go of things you can't solve. Alright? Let it go. I can't hold it anymore or whatever. You know the song. I'm not gonna sing Disney song because Disney's gonna knock on my door, and I won't be able to let it go anymore. I will have to have a relationship with that guy. Jesus, they need new actors now. And I would work for their little amount of money, so they have plenty of reasons to knock on my door. A bunch of assholes. Still trying to push Nickelodeon forward. That's pretty crazy, bro. Nickelodeon is still around? Holy shit, don't tell me that. I just want to go home. I am home. Where do I go now? So anyways, eventually the tangent is gonna reach out to you as well, alright? But for now, every person has their own shit to deal with. Alright? So, their problems are too disconnected from yours. They're too specific to themselves. Like, they have something missing and you don't have something missing. You could help them, but they could be too far away. Now we're talking about distance relationships and all that shit. I'm not really far away from anyone. You can talk to me anytime and take advice from me. I'm willing to help. I'm hoping that I can help people, but you test my patience and eventually we'll have to, cut it short. All right, the moment I feel you testing my patience, like it's not gonna last. That part. As long as you're distracting me, because I have my own problems to deal with. I don't want to be distracted for too long. I just know that the amount of problems I have is very tiny in comparison to everyone else, who have plenty of things to lose and will realize that COVID or Russia nonsense was absolutely nothing in comparison when it stacks all together and there's another thing stacked on top. Everything gets restacked into an even more powerful disaster. So I'm just gonna warm you guys up about the timeline and all that shit. Yeah. By the way, if you want positivity, I have released Peace Pop. So there's 50 songs that I've declared that were good discoveries this year that I've made. And maybe those discoveries somehow link up with you and tell you some kind of story. I don't know, man. It's your problem now. But the idea is the same goddamn thing. Alright? So there's 4 sections and 4 disasters about to happen. And the purge is over here. 2024 and 25 is the purge. This is the fucking COVID thing. 2021. Then there's the Russian nonsense, which is about to end. And you might be surprised how it ends. I'm not sure how it ends. I just see the ending. Putin is just too scared to continue. But he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to pull back because he has such a big ego. He doesn't want to pull back anything, but he's too scared to do anything. So at some point, his troops are going to be disconnected from his, intentions. The military leader is dead or something. Like, everything is getting disconnected. Even the Putin has killed, his own sort of threat, basically. So it's his own military threat against himself. But that doesn't stop the threat, it just makes it even worse. So the whole thing is just so confusing and so stupid that it should end very soon, all right? Putin's losing power every day now. This war is definitely coming to a close. All right, just like COVID just kind of closed off very neatly. It tried to, like, poke its head out in some ways. Some people still wore masks, but, only clowns did that. Only clowns in special occasions. I was still asking, like, why people, like, in the middle of summer almost, and the Jimmy Fallon show was still wearing masks, but you have to understand, these people are fucking clowns. What, they only want to see their favorite celebrity, so of course they have to wear a mask. They have to wear maximum protection against being fucking idiots and doing something stupid when there's a celebrity you're looking at, a person that has to be extremely protected. So it's just a clown uniform. You have to put on your clown shoes so you're not dangerous to society anymore. I've learned something new again. Being a clown is about posing no danger to society because your shoes suck. You can't run. You can't run at someone. We're not supposed to be scared of clowns. When you make a scary clown, you have to be arrested and put in jail, in a clown jail, in a special jail for a very long time, until you become funny again. That's how long. I don't know, man. I don't know how long a criminal has to work until they become funny. That's a long time, man. That's a very long time. So yeah, we need a special clown jail for these people who dress up as scary clowns. Holy shit, it's the It, man. I can't wait to watch the It movie and actually enjoy it. Because I know how the ending... What's the ending about? It's about discovering the clown jail. The It. It's not funny when you don't have a name. You don't have a name anymore. It's not funny. So there's so many movies I can watch. There's so much time I can spend still completely on my own. Even if bad shit happens and YouTube just closes down, I will still be able to survive. Don't worry about me. I am worried about YouTube. Like, every single time we're stacking all these problems, I have to be able to resist that. I still have to find the light within darkness. And if I give up, everything falls apart. All right? I just want to stack a little bit of, intrigue of, like, if I fall apart, YouTube will not exist past this generation. We're just going to have to, bury it and think about something else to do. Because it didn't work out, The entire YouTube destiny lies in my hands. But you must understand, I don't stand alone in this. There's plenty of people contributing. It's in my hands, though. So they give me the responsibility because I'm a responsible little fucker. But I can do this as long as everything is going right. As long as the net positive exists, or we can at least take a break. So it's not always going to be clear if YouTube is a rip, and we gotta just let it rip. and we have to bury it. It's not going to be clear until the very end of the whole fucking problems, because I could just switch into just watching movies and doing my thing and not engaging in other people's problems anymore because it's too overwhelming. Maybe people are gonna just ask for things constantly and will put me in danger, basically. Because they will want to know where I live and how to connect to me and all that shit. Like, it's a fucking headache. Leave me alone. You don't need that right now. You're not gonna connect to me. I'm a poor person. I have nothing to give. I have no way of showing compassion and affection in real life. Like, there's nothing I can give you, okay? If you want to give me things, I mean, we can think about that for a second, because you can probably just send me an online donation. Just send me cash to my nearest bank or whatever. So it's the easiest way to support me, obviously, but it's still not too easy, because fucking hell, life is not easy just by default. And everything is meaningful, and it's pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. You have to just adapt to everything and just accept it as it is. If you can change something, if you can improve it, like, absolutely, thank you very much for doing that. But you have to really pick your battles, especially now. So one thing I can tell you guys, one thing that is not gonna harm anyone, and one thing that's very predictable about the purge only happens when all tires are popped. And this is just way too specific, but people feel too powerful when they're inside a car. With a car, you can escape as far as you want. So the purge, the maximum purge, basically, you know, the purge is happening somewhere, somehow. You still have to care about it. But the maximum purge, where it's happening in your place, to know that it's happening in your place, all tires are popped. You can't escape, basically, with a car. It's impossible. So the Maui fires kind of like show that sort of simulation of, like, police blocking the roads and all that shit, trapping people in, and seeing what happens, basically. See, the government is basically allowing themselves to simulate all sorts of bullshit, and Maui Fires is, on one hand, a conspiracy, but on another hand is a simulation of something. So it goes hand in hand, because, like, why not? Why not do that? Why not see what happens and see how people react? So if you find an interesting story, just follow it for the sake of it being an interesting story, okay? And how people have dealt with their problems. It's not that you're supposed to hate the government or love the government for them being smart or evil, you know? And neither of these things are relevant, because you don't know them. You don't know where the government is. You're not gonna find them that easily. All right? How are you, like, ask yourself the simple question: how the fuck are you gonna find the government? You think they're just in a simple building? Yeah, if you attack the building, then they are in the building. If you don't have a mob, you also don't know where government is by default. You always have to find it. It's always running around, bouncing around, and asking you to go here and here and here and here and do this and do that and do this, and you're getting close. You're getting closer to your desired Monica, bro. Shut the fuck up, okay? I don't know if she likes me anymore. Has been a long time. She didn't say anything. I said plenty of things. All right. Obviously, I'm not saying anything about her, or didn't I? Like, I don't have to, because she's not talking to me. All right, I don't have to, but we'll see. Yeah, it's my tangent. It's my little tangent about Monica that sort of saved my life because it made me question of like, maybe she likes me though. Yeah, saved my life in a way. But I don't know how to kill myself. It's kind of like the same thing. It's like, how do I kill myself? I can't find it. I can't find the Grim Reaper. So the same way you're not gonna find the government. You're not gonna find that special way to just, you know, end your misery in some kind of way. So if you're starting to search for the government, your misery just began. Congratulations. You're just not gonna find it that easily. But eventually you could. I'm not gonna give you instructions. That's just another tangent we could go into. I'm just saying, without a mob, you can't do it. And I'm not saying you need a mob. You're just not gonna do it. If you think you're just gonna resist the government, where is it? I want to know. You found it? You think you're that fucking smart? If I go outside, I can find people. I can find groceries to buy. So I can even see businesses and everything. But when it comes to finding the government, I mean, holy shit. Only if I have a very specific question can I find it, you know. If I have some kind of paperwork to do, then the government is like pretty clear, like where you have to go, who you have to call. But otherwise, like, you're not gonna find it, bro. You're just not. Just like if you're not hungry, you're not gonna find anything to buy in a grocery store. If you don't need anything, if you're not hungry, you're just not gonna buy anything. Unless you're stupid. Unless you think you can buy something, but you will have to throw it away anyways, because it's gonna go bad, or it's just trash that doesn't go bad. You know. So either way. Again, the hunger or the need for the government could be about you thinking about the future. You know, you think about the future and you think like, shit, I need that shit right now. I need to think about it. Yeah. I will have to ask my mom if like, do you like money? Are you sure? Well, I have to deal with the government now, and they will repay all of the money if I just declare where I live. I am willing to say that to the government. I don't care, bro. The government doesn't even exist. I would like for them to knock on my door, realizing that they don't exist that often. Now the big question is, do we fucking allow Taylor to take 33 or not? We can try, of course. All right, Taylor, tell me about the purge. I know you have the, are you ready for it? I'm not ready for it, all right? No one's ready for the purge. But it's gonna happen anyways. Purge. Taylor Swift, purge. Let's see if you have anything. Purging Taylor Swift, look at that. Of course I will click on that one. There's karma, I understand. Yeah, I don't think she's ready for it either. We have to think about the core of the purge, basically. What does it mean to legalize crime? And in short, it's pretty obvious. All right? You can solve your problem any way you want. All right? So if you think you need to loot a store or you need to pop some tires and pull the purge into your town, you know, if the cars run away and there's only popped tire cars, you in the purge. Congratulations. You have entered the purge, and now all crime is legal because no one can run away. No one can say shit to you. Just full riots is online. So you have to monitor just the tires. All right? The things that can run away fastest, like you have to monitor that shit. There's also the scooters things, but scooters don't fucking run away from one city to the other. All right, so it's more of a local problem that's gonna happen. And again, this is a funny thing. It sounds like too specific, but again, people have too much power with their cars. But it's so easy to destroy all their power. You just destroy their tires. There's no such thing as a tireless car that just has bulletproof shit all over. Like, there's no such thing. It's only for the rich people. I haven't seen it running around, and yet people show so much fucking ego. They just honking around, just creating an annoying atmosphere. They think nothing bad is gonna happen, bro. And this is literally what can happen, and everything will fucking collapse. Your city will collapse after the purge. So, in a way, the best thing to do, and another purge requirement for you guys, try and stop the purge. Don't allow it by default. Like, you must understand, you must snap out of the idea that purge is just somehow natural thing that everyone has to experience. All right? No, it has to be contained in a single location, if possible. It might spill over, as it always does, because people want to try different things. But by default, the purge is not something you have to participate in. The purge is something you have to stop. I can barely do anything. I will still try my best. I don't know. If someone wants to take my advice, they will also have to take my judgment of, like, are you really trying to stop the purge, or are you just piece of shit? You know, I will have to judge people, and I have to look around and just, you know, put a stop sign where it's appropriate, and it's not gonna kill me. But it's probably gonna kill me, so I will not do that. Yeah. Yeah. I will have to now, because we're entering the age of compassion and connection. I don't know if I will be able to stay in the same location. It's just this question mark appears in front of me, and I might have to leave behind people. You know, people might have to move around more than you ever know, because they won't be able to move around eventually. If you get stuck in the purge, I mean, the risk of dying is pretty fucking high. The location that's gonna be purged 100%, you're probably not gonna survive in that location. All right? So, be careful, guys. And when I say, like, I don't know, man. I'm always in the crossfire, so I feel like Deadlands are gonna be, like, purged by default, at least by 50%. But because I can't move, someone has to offer me ability to escape. If they don't offer me ability to escape, which is basically not gonna happen unless it's a fucking miracle, then this land cannot be purged by default. Even if it's getting purged, it could be just, you know, a fluke. So, unless I'm offered a way to escape, my land can't be purged. That's kind of a rule of the purge, is like you have to give opportunities to everyone. And that's the most important thing, again, is to not become desperate to escape. You have to ask, what are you escaping? Who's giving you an opportunity to escape in the first place? Is there such a thing? Because I can have the question mark, but only as like a lightning strike possibility. Of like, I'm scared of lightning striking me. Nothing I can do about it, though, if it does. But I'm gonna express it. It's a cool thing to talk about. You know, there's a storm outside and lightning might strike me and destroy the whole fucking thing. So we just have to remind people that that's a possibility. All right. But other than that, I just, have to move on and see if these things are not being offered, because the moment everyone realizes the land is going to get purged, everyone is going to offer each other a hand to escape. Someone is going to have a car that's still functional and will try to escape somehow. Even on bikes, we're going to bike to a location, to a place where someone has cars. All right? We're going to be able to move away from a town to a big city where someone somewhere is going to have ability to escape. So, yeah. And now the question, after all this speculation, will it actually happen somewhere? Double check. Before COVID, it probably was already happening way, way before you even understand what COVID is. They just came up with a name, but the thing had to have been happening for a long time. Just like the military of Russia had to, pack their bags and sit on the border for a few months to make everyone know that there's a threat going on. All right? But even beforehand, they had to talk about it, they had to prepare, they had to scheme around. So, and they have been doing just that. I mean, what else? Even the invasion to Lithuania, like all the migrant invasion, now it feels like it was a part of Ukrainian nonsense and not anything else. It was just some kind of crisis, basically, that is more related to war than the COVID thing. So the signs, cannot be ignored. And if you collect all the signs, you just see the purge happening. There's no escape. We're going to review more of this video and not this video. The whole thing. Because what it actually translates to, will Canadians, commit the purge? That's what it all translates to. It's very easy to do that, to translate this title, unless you brain fucking dead. You can't put things together. Because non-compliance to things, being very, very angry, is allowing crime to exist, basically. Of like, well, he's angry, so let's allow him to do that. He's angry, so let's allow him to do that. So if you give too much allowance, government cannot stop that. It just has to resolve by itself. If people are angry, nobody can stop them from doing their crime. All right? You can't stop them from doing that, but you can stop the purge. And again, the definition of the purge, if someone starts popping tires, you have to knock them down, bro. At some point, if you have the ability to knock out a person, you have to knock them down. If you truly believe in your place not deserving the purge, if you feel that you don't deserve the purge, that's true. That's a true feeling. You just need to knock out a popper. Yeah, that's a new meme that we came up with. Just knock out a popper. You gotta punch a popper so it gets knocked out. All right? So it stops doing that, because one person can probably pop 100 cars in one day. And if it doesn't stop, like, we're all screwed. We're all just fucking screwed. We can still drive with pop tires, but it's that much more difficult. All right? Now we're just asking for problems. Because if we sit in a car with pop tires, like, people just gonna attack us like zombies. Like, they're just gonna go at it. Oh my god. Okay, maybe I should stop. Maybe even my body can't take it anymore. because I'm a little bit too happy about the thing that is gonna screw a lot of people over. I'm a little bit too happy to know that it's happening because I can see the signs, because I've been reading the signs too much. But at the same time, like, if I can help someone, I have to pay full attention of like what's going on, right? Because if you can slow things down as well, like this is the last resort, but you can still do it if crime is legal and you have to knock out a popper, you're just gonna do it. Because fuck you, don't pop tires, bro. We might need the fucking car right now. You can solve other problems, right? With some other types of crime. But just the idea that purge is actually a thing, you know, it's not a fucking fictional thing, that it actually is gonna occur in some kind of way. Like, somewhere, somehow. It's gonna start brewing everywhere, but it's gonna start concentrating in certain locations. So you're gonna be very relieved if you know that your country is safe. You're gonna be so relieved. But it's not over until it's over. It's just not. It's just like a fucking basketball game. Whoever has the ball is gonna be the target. You know, everyone's gonna tag the fucking ball keeper to try and take the ball and deliver somewhere where they feel like it belongs. You know, imagine if a basketball game had tons and tons of hoops, a bunch of teams working together to get things into their own hoop. I'm not saying this is happening with the purge. Maybe the opposite is happening because you don't want purge to happen in your place. But you have enemies. You know, you have a hoop to where you want to deliver the ball, right? So the most important part about the purge is to find the enemy, you know. And Russia is gonna get really fucking quiet because they know they're the enemy. If they fucking even fart in the wrong direction, they're just gonna be the enemy. They're just gonna be taken over. They have plenty of land for us to commit purge. So by default, Russia is where the purge will happen first. All right? Even it has been coined out on TikTok, like purge is happening in Russia, whatever. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. It's just Russia's definitely gonna do a hula hoop somewhere else. All right, so it might just throw the ball into fucking Ukraine or somewhere else. Like, we have to pay attention where the ball is going as well. The spotlight of evil itself, where it's moving around, because like whatever is, if it stops, like that fucking place is getting doomed, is getting wrecked. So we got to pay attention. It all starts with Russia, so we have to pay attention there, right? Obviously, if you're fucking courageous enough, just go to Russia, because Russia is not gonna fucking take that shit. All right, they will know how to pass the ball. But if you're courageous enough, just go to the wilderness, and I'm pretty sure you're like gonna be 99% safe. All right, there's plenty of land, so even if Russia commits the purge, it's probably gonna happen in like 10% of Russia anyways. So, or you're just gonna be safe in the wilderness, because in the wilderness nothing really spreads. No ideology just kind of spreads by default. Unless it's Ukraine, then we have to attack Ukraine. That one is by default. But everything else doesn't spread. Yeah. It's a meme. Memes spread really fast, but the purge is not something that can spread, especially on wilderness, when there's so much land to just do whatever the fuck you want anyways. Why would you need crime? So Russia is gonna be the first one to get rid of their fucking flag, their spotlight, or their ball, and deliver somewhere else. You know. The flag of the purge, that is. You must understand what flag I'm talking about. The flag of like, oh, you plant the flag and this is the target where all the people should go to. to take advantage of the land. Like, Russia doesn't want that, okay? Doesn't even have a proper land to take advantage of. It's just kind of garbage place. Unless you want cheap housing, then fucking be courageous. Build a house in Russia if you're so cool, you know, right after war. Like, I don't have that much courage to spend to appear in the most dangerous place right now in the planet. Holy fuck. But again, if you have a mob, I think you should be fine. Just taking a piece of that land, just by default. So I'll take that. You have to be not associated with any government, but I think you can take some land from Russia, all right? If you have enough courage, Russia is gonna keep you safe. Well, 90% safe. A bear could still attack you, you know? A bear could be like, it's the purge. Let's fucking attack humans. A bear could kill you and your stupid mob. Alright? Maybe a bear can just take like 6 bullets before it dies. But like, how are you gonna shoot the bear? You're gonna be sleeping by then. Alright? Bears are not stupid. So, yeah, if you have courage to spend, like, you were Russian this whole time, so just go to fucking Russia, okay? You're gonna find affordable housing, affordable food, and affordable bears. Here you go. Now, that's a pretty interesting image as well. It's like, you know, there's plenty of savages who just know how to fucking operate this sort of purge mentality, rather. You know, there's plenty of savages around who just gonna get activated of like, oh, I know exactly what to do now that crime is legal. And again, you're trying to stop the purge, you're not trying to. So if you have the power to stop anything and confuse people and lie to them, basically, and not get in trouble for it, like, you just gotta fucking take the hit. Because, again, you don't want to take the entire ball of purge to happen in your place. You know, where is it gonna happen? Even like Eurovision winner, like, no one will want to win Eurovision anymore. Like, you have to understand how fucking weird it's gonna get next 2 years. No one's gonna want to win anything. No one's gonna fucking, like, it's gonna get pretty fucking confusing. I'm not gonna lie. Because anyone who gets attention will try to give it to someone else. Alright? No one will want attention for next 2 years. Don't worry about it. Except for me, because I love attention. Attention is fucking awesome. Alright? I don't care how many people hate me. Alright? I'm just in a box. Trapped in I don't care about people's hatred. I care about their passion and love, and I will try and find that within them. And eventually they will run out of attention, because I can suck that up very fast. Alright? I've been holding vaults and vaults filled with pity points. You think I don't deserve attention? Fuck you, bro. I'm gonna spend that, finally. Let's open the vaults. Give me attention. Yes, yes. I will take that. But I don't recommend anyone else to do it. Because, you know, if I get attention, it's not a good time for you to get attention at all. Alright? It might be great for me to get attention, but not really for anyone who's much weaker mentally, right? Who's not mentally prepared to handle anything. Because, like, my classmates immediately scattered the moment I just said stuff. They just left. They just ran away. I just said some stuff. You know, I'm like, let's organize this thing. Oh no, I have to leave now. And not say anything about it. I just have to pee very much. Pee somewhere else. Pee or not to pee is the question. Just where, you know? See, you must understand, there's one thing you must understand about the purge. Where are you gonna go? Because if you, again, you're not going to Russia. Now I'm asking you a very simple question. Where the fuck are you gonna go? All right? How fucking crazy are you? You can go to India if you want. You want to jail yourself? Absolutely. It's just we don't talk about Bruno. All right? There's a reason why we don't talk about Bruno. If you go to jail, we can't talk about you anymore. But I'm saying Russia and India are the options. I don't know any other options personally, but you can discover more in the land of fire. Yeah, in the India, you're not gonna, you know, blend in that easily. They're sort of brownish people. Like, you're not gonna blend in. You don't understand their culture, but you can definitely go there. All right, that's a different type of courage you can spend. You'll have to learn courage, basically. If you're willing to learn courage from the ground up, then if you're very, very curious, basically, courageous, you know. No, it's about intense curiosity. Then India is the place for you, my friends. But again, don't get stuck. Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna stay? Two questions you have to ask all the time. Where are you where are you gonna go though? Where are you staying? It's just gonna tear you apart. But it's best to ask yourself one question at a time. All right, if you're going somewhere, where? Where? Okay, if you're staying where are you staying, bro? Is it a good place? Is it allowing you to survive? Because I will still, like, I don't have infinite amount of pity points. If people give me too much attention, I will melt into a puddle. All right, I will have to watch Transformers and figure out what other creatures I can turn myself into while being also a human being. All right, I'll have to start watching certain types of movies in order to escape my pathetic destiny of getting too much attention, because I don't want that. All right, everything has to grow gradually. So anything can go wrong, even in my life, which sucks. So what was the second thing? Yeah, I didn't even talk about the second thing. Connection. No, I did talk about, like, if my mom was disconnected from me, if I had no connection to society, and no one would care about me, it would have been a disaster. And it would have ended really badly. And in a way, that would have killed me. So there's two ways for government to kill you, right? To inject evil things in your life. We have to be more generic about it, so everyone would understand. Any sort of evil they allow themselves to do, they somehow are allowed to do, and they're just gonna go for it. But maybe if you complain over and over again, they will retract the injection, hopefully. So that's pretty good. Just hope that they don't do too much damage. It's crazy. You have to complain a lot. You have to get into their head. If you're uncomfortable with anything happening, and the connection part is that, okay, like, nothing bad is happening, but when bad things are happening, you have to ask for help, and you have to demand people to help you. If they're not trying to be helpful, like, they're your enemy, but just don't tell them that out loud until you switch places, you find another thing to do, because you have to keep the connection going, most importantly. And then when you switch, then you can declare enemies and all that shit. All right? So if someone is capable of helping you, if someone can help you, you have to stay connected to them. You know, you have to understand, and try not to push buttons too deeply so you get blocked or some bullshit like that. Just allow people to do their thing. Collect those pity points of like of them feeling bad for you or whatever. But overall, don't push too many buttons. Don't drain your respect for them or for yourself from them, basically. Respect from them. Don't drain that shit. Don't test it too much. Because in the purge, every single fucking connection matters. Like, basically, those things matter. You have to disconnect injections. If you see an evil person, you have to disconnect them from your society. And connect to people if they're willing to help you in some kind of way, if they're helpful, if they don't seem evil. So there's two things you have to pay attention to. Basically, embrace the good and discard the evil. Now, let me connect to my sister personality in Canada. Kind of stuck there. And Canada is probably the first place where the purge is gonna fucking transfer from Russia. It's like, where's that northern big continent? Yeah, I know there's Russia, but like, where's the other one? You know? So everything just gonna translate into Canada, which is already happening anyways. So they're pretty much the first ones to get the ball rolling. It's pretty crazy. So it's not just the question of will Canadians commit the purge, but it's like, will they accept the purge and will keep the purge in this territory? Because they're the second ones to get the purge. If you can somehow get to Canada after the purge has been delivered somewhere else, you're probably also going to be safe. You know, let's speculate that way. That the Canadians only going to get purge one time, and if they can bounce it, it will be success. So whatever Lauren is actually doing is very productive, and she needs to know that. She is concerned for a reason. So let's watch the video. You must understand, again, how disconnected people are from each other and how they're not even willing to consider that bad things can happen and they need to help each other, right? Lockdowns are easy, but helping other people is something you need to remind yourself of. You know, it's a skill that you just don't know by default. You don't know until you try. You don't know until you get your ass up and say something. You know, you don't know if you haven't been around trying to connect people and understand that this is fucking disgustingly complicated process. That you have to just have an open mind for it in the first place. And there's many ways to do it, but if you blind yourself and you get depressed, like, I'm sorry, bro, you're not helping the cause, and you can't complain when bad shit is gonna happen to you. All right, don't worry about it. So there's basically the whole world is just watching, like, where the fucking ball is gonna be rolling, who's gonna be the first one to crack, and how much damage the ball is gonna do while it's in your hands. Because, like, it's not a free-for-all. You don't just get to keep the ball and then deliver it at the end of when the purge is, like, supposed to happen or whatever. There's no, like, for as long as you're gonna hold the ball, like, your country is gonna suffer and get comfortable with the purge. And the moment it becomes 100% comfortable, that's where it's gonna happen. You know, the moment tires get popped, and there's enough crime going on, basically people organizing in a specific manner. Like, I'm sorry. The moment people will stop you from trying to escape, like, you know, they're too comfortable with making crime. Now they're making crime against, you know, their own society. They just don't care anymore. So you must understand, this is a perfect indication, just absolutely perfect indication of, but it has to be translated, okay? Tire popping is about stopping you from escaping. Basically, all respect has been drained, and now, again, when it's above like 70% tires popped, like, you have to run. Unfortunately, you have to run. I don't know if I can run. Like, it's still gonna be a question mark for me. I will probably wait for 90%. But the fact that though there's gonna be a percentage in general that you're gonna see in your fucking brain, holy shit, is that gonna fucking be weird to you? Like, everyone's gonna see in their brain the feeling of like, is it safe to stay? You know, that feeling. And how are you gonna indicate that feeling, right? For me, it's a lot clearer than other people. I'll just look down, you know. I have things to look at. Don't worry about it. I have things to double check. If, you know, cars are moving around, then it's still safe. So I look through the window, there's still cars running around, like, it's safe. So whenever, I mean, but doesn't mean that I will be able to escape, because again, as I've said, someone has to offer me a way. And if that doesn't happen, and it's very likely to not happen, I just have to suck it up. And that's, even though there's a question mark, usually it's just, well, I have to suck it up. Even if the purge does happen, it's still gonna happen for 2 years. So even the country that's gonna be purged, it will be able to recover. I'm just saying a lot of people will die in that location. Not everyone, though. So being in the crossfire and just like living through horror, I mean, there's a lot of countries that feel in a crossfire anyways. But, you know, they have to feel that way. They have to feel interconnected with everything else. All right. What a luxurious car. I'm sure nothing bad could possibly happen to it. I just want to research how easy it is to pop a tire, but at the same time, I don't want to add this information into my brain. So I have to, like, walk around and find something of equivalent that I could do that I already know about. So basically, if you want information, you cannot trust the internet to deliver information to you because it's too easy. All right? If you can spend time, if you can waste time, like, thinking about things yourself and trying to figure things out yourself, like, it's the most productive thing you can do. The most productive thing to do is to do things yourself. Don't take other people's information. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, like, if you're just gonna copy and paste things from the internet into your brain, you might get corrupted. All right, you might pick up a wrong idea. And even just the idea of like, oh, it's just an innocent thing of like, what does it take to pop a tire? Like, unless you figure that out naturally, you're just being evil. You're just researching very bad things. And you could just get in trouble by typing that shit into Google because Google is watching, my friends. There's no innocent moves that you can make, all right, in this situation. Everyone is watching every single move you make, especially on the internet. Every move you make is being watched. So just know that, okay? You have researched far enough into this video. Just at least know that. If you're doing criminal behaviors, people gonna stag the shit, alright? Very carefully right now. People gonna dig that up. Your Google search history is gonna be dug up if you end up in a tricky situation. If people have questions about you, they will be able to bring that shit up. So be careful, all right? If your brain gets corrupted and you make a mistake, like if you did shady moves, like people gonna figure out how to piece things together. Of like, why did you do that? People can dig deeper and deeper. So the information is there. I'm just saying. Now government spying on you actually matters. Alright, so make sure that your moves are actually more moral than immoral. Just check on that part. It's best to just upload some fucking cat videos on the internet, alright? Instead of researching things like that. I can give, again, you want to ask a question, you have problems, and that's why you're watching the whole fucking video? Yeah, I'll try and help. You have made a great investment into my life. Congratulations.
All Canadians. This pandemic found it.
If you push people into a corner and ask a question, you're not gonna get a honest answer. Alright? Unless you ask for reasons, then sure, maybe it will make sense to you. But as an interviewer, you don't have much of a power. But again, it's very intimidating when a girl approaches you and asks you questions. All right, Lauren doesn't understand the power that she holds. But you know, you're not gonna get very far with this sort of interview bullshit. Because Lauren represents a piece of society. You know, she can corner people into place of like, will you complain? What is? She will still, you know, give off a vibe of like, what is the safe answer? You know, and people will just comply to her position basically. Because so even though they're being asked a question of like, will you comply? The answer is yes. They will comply to whatever the fuck you asked, you know. That's your fucking answer. It's very, very difficult to get proper answers if you don't figure them out yourself. So what she's doing at the same time, even though she's being curious, she knows she's fucking trolling and not gonna get satisfied with the answers. It's just impossible. Look at one of these things, man. And she created a whole fucking graphic about it. Approaching this fucking weirdo.
All over. Canada announces lockdowns, masks, all that again. Are you gonna comply?
No.
Why not?
No.
No.
What?
I said no.
Why not?
I don't want to.
But I've got to go.
There's a whole graphic, but what's happening here, she's a woman and she's looking for men to stand up for themselves. You know, it's just so weird. And then there's a dude in the background who stood up in a different way, and she's just being fucking pushed around basically for asking just a wrong question in general. But this is just something you would not be able to see without my intervention and explanation and translation of what the fuck is going on. Because even I myself, I can barely watch this video without like tripping my balls out, knowing that other people will not see anything that I see here. But in real world, like, your heart is active and you're just gonna do the right thing all the way. So you should not be too afraid that some kind of terrible change is gonna happen. But you should not be too loose where you're just gonna run away. Because like, the cool thing is, one of the jokers, one of the people who think they're on the right side, their first answer to my question is like, well, you can just move somewhere else. Well, it's true. You can just go somewhere else, but that's not how life works. All right? You don't get to escape your problems. Often enough, you're just gonna jump on a problem yourself. All right? And the question is always, where are you gonna go? Do you think you can just escape that easily? Because what you're looking for is safety. What you're looking for is to not be annoyed. And it's very easy to just give an answer of just go somewhere else. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Annoyance is not something you can escape from. You have to basically figure out and adapt and reason with people, basically. But annoyance can escalate into something else, into higher level bullshit. It's still going to be in specific places. Again, purge cannot happen worldwide. It's just impossible. It's too weird. It's just like, if I get angry, I might smash a TV or whatever. I'm not going to destroy the entire house unless I know I'm going to be famous on TikTok if I do that. But, yeah. I'm just not going to destroy everything. I'm going to destroy the thing that I hate the most. That's how the purge is, you know, embodied. The idea of purge is to destroy the thing you hate the most. So potentially it's just gonna be a relief when we destroy it. And definitely government doesn't want to get in the way and be destroyed. I'll tell you that much, alright? Government is just gonna tuck itself away and just gonna hide itself. Very carefully, in a very, very convenient place. Probably in my room, in some kind of corner of my room, where even I cannot see it anymore. Because I'm too lighthearted to see the government, bro. I'm not searching for it right now. Well, actually, I might still search for it, because, like, the Fire Nation has attacked, my friends, and we still have to recover for like 3 months or whatever. But overall, like, the government is safe even in my room. I won't be able to find it anymore. I have to double check if there's no government right now. Shit, I'm scared that there might be some government. Let me check. Yeah, double check your corners. Maybe there's some spiders in there. Or rats even. Holy shit. They could be working for the government. They could be hiding the entire government in there. Holy shit. Oh, and yeah, I mean, when I say figure things out yourself, I don't mean you just go out there and do the thing to test it. Because you'll have to pay for that. Alright? Any crime you do, like, it's not free for all. It's just crime is allowed. Doesn't mean that consequences not gonna happen. We're gonna calculate consequences in the end. Alright? People will still have to pay for everything bad that they do. Which is, again, why when the purge happens in a specific place, the crime rate is so high at some point that everyone is doomed because they do too much crime. There's no escape. They're just losers. The consequence is that there is no escape. The country is just doomed. You know, that's the consequence. You're just screwed in every single way. Because any crime you do is just going to destabilize the country and turn it into third world garbage. Hopefully we can just deliver the ball to Africa because they like balls. Alright? But overall, it's going to be the hardest place to hit. Alright? It's the biggest hula hoop where we can deliver bad news, you know, and they will still enjoy it because it's like, oh, well, the sun is back. Nothing bad happened, right? And we're just gonna stab each other in the face with the whatever they decide. I don't know, man. They have big dicks, man. They can stab themselves with that. Like, it's crazy.
I want to live my own life.
What do you think would happen? Do you think there'd be anarchy in the streets?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I definitely think so. A ton.
Yay, anarchy in the streets. That's one way to say the purge without saying the purge. I mean, Lauren is definitely winning that game. Say the purge in 20 different ways without saying the purge. I mean, you should make TikTok videos about that shit. Holy crap. Lauren, please don't lose your footing from this generation. Because if you say the purge in 50 different ways without saying the purge, I'm sorry, bro. Anarchy is not the purge. It's weird, but it's not the purge. Anarchy only happens when a new territory is discovered, all right? Then it's anarchy. It's like a social construct where we already have like tools and everything, and we can organize ourselves. Anarchy is like we discover a new island, and the island has anarchy for as long as there's no leader, right? Because there's no clear leader, not supposed to be, if we want to have a fair share of the island. That's what anarchy is. Purge is destabilizing. This is why people think anarchy is like, you know, a negative word that also describes the purge. That anarchy could happen in the streets. Like, where are you going to find so much space in the streets all of a sudden? Where are you going to discover new things that people haven't discovered before, and they will fight for it to have a piece of that fucking territory? It's not going to happen. But that's what anarchy is just a fight for territory when there's new space. All right? This is why I get kicked out of Discord channels when I discovered as anarchy, but not really, because people want to keep it for their lords, basically, lords and saviors, for the creators of Discord. You know, oh, you found new land? Oh, I need that right now, and I have a button to press. I will take that land away from you. It's a little bit annoying on Discord, but I understand. You can just press a button. Of course. Of course. Now, internet land, internet real estate is something you can declare anarchy upon. Anarchy will be explored because internet has a lot of, you know, unexplored lands, right? So anarchy will be explored. How is it going to happen? Well, in order for anarchy also to work on the internet has to allow. Basically, this is why people salivate over Web3. Web3 is about you don't just make a website, you make website super easily, and you can almost like manipulate the website itself. So I don't get to just upload YouTube videos, I get to interact with people. I get to force people to interact with me sometimes. And all of a sudden, like, YouTube is slowly turning into an anarchy where a lot of things are possible. I'm discovering new things, but I still have to collect enough tools to be able to declare anarchy upon YouTube. And again, it's not going to be a negative thing. It's just going to be like, it's going to be like a little bit chaotic and a little bit of, you know, anxiety-inducing moment, because you need to get in on this, you know. This is kind of like, anarchy is what, in other words, is like trending, a trending topic that you have to explore, because there's a lot of power within that thing. A lot of people think that when a new movie comes out, there's anarchy for all to just talk about the movie over and over again until you get bored. But because you get bored very quickly, that's not anarchy, you know. It just fades away, just slips through your hands. That's why I'm so scared of getting bored, all right? My ability to actually connect to those valuable things across the internet is like really valuable to me. So let's hope we can finish this video and move on with our lives. Thanks, Lauren, for bringing the purge onto the table. Very cool. Just also, well, she is exploring all these different aspects of the purge and how it's all named in different ways, basically, and how people respond to that. It's kind of fascinating to me. Also, this group of people, we have to throw them into a volcano, all right? Just by default. As a black dude, do you need sunglasses? Are you sure about that? Because that fucking just creeps me out. I have to press the racism button. Because what the fuck is going on, man? You have too many women, and you have too much sunglasses on your face. I've pressed it twice, man. Holy shit. And you talk about anarchy at the same time. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared, man. Definitely, I like anarchy because... And these girls like anarchy because they want to be taken, basically. Taken away. Clearly. Because they already are. But it's just... Oh, undefeated! Let's go! There's some fucking weirdos running around, basically, that she's finding. I mean, at least this is entertaining. Holy shit.
With when they decide give me $2,000 a month that I'm supposed to live in Vancouver with, there's absolutely no way I will accept that. No way. I'm ready for battle.
We've seen what they do in Paris. You got to teach the Canadians.
Exactly. Like I will be showing people. I will be down the street burning garbages and everything, but they're not taking my job away again, for sure.
Yeah. Paris have told you how to do the thing, am I right? Yeah, the Paris. Don't... Paris is, first of all, is a planted event because it's a tourist attraction. And people will resonate with Paris much more than resonate with what the fuck I'm saying. Even though I'm way smarter than any fucking Parisian person. Or anyone in Europe for that matter. And yet no one would listen to me, but they will listen to what happened in Paris. Am I right? See, that's the fucking problem. You can get scammed. By all means. You can get scammed by Europeans. And you have never been scammed like this ever before. If you get scammed by Europeans, I don't know, they will take everything away from you, bro. Just everything. But they will start with your sanity. Because that's the juiciest fucking part of a human being, is their sanity. And then they will figure out what else to do with you. Alright? Don't dig too deep into Parisian bullshit, because, again, I did that with Eurovision. What is it? France, right? So France basically is just full of shit right now. It's just... The greatest tourist attraction is gonna also collect a lot of feces all over the place. So no problem, alright? What you know is Eiffel Tower is just a big toilet. It's just the biggest toilet in the world. Alright, don't ascribe too much meaning into it. Don't worry about it. The Land of Love just set itself on fire? I don't think so, man. It's just a fucking scam. But at the same time, it also indicates the purge, and also indicates of, you know, one thing you can do to scam yourself for the purge to happen in your place, you know? Oh, you want to take the purge now? Let's see it, man. We have to work together and figure things out. Solve problems before they solve us. You know, when the problem starts solving us, well, we're gonna lose some limbs. I'll tell you that much. I'm sure Lauren can just run away somewhere else. She's just bitching about... But she must understand how many times she said Canadian or Canada or whatever, right? So, if you mention something too many times and you're complaining about the same thing, circling around fucking one topic, maybe you just gotta go somewhere else, because it clearly, this place has too many problems. Why are you staying in Canada? Canada feels like a fucking sensitive place. Everyone is overly sensitive, and if bad things happen, Canada just sets itself on fire just by default. Just because, well, we're sensitive is like, well, like, come on, man. I got nothing better to do. You know, we're just, we're next to, like, very big country and stuff. I'm scared, and it's cold right now. Yeah, like, don't worry about it. But Lauren has options. If she runs out of options, I will also run out of respect for her. But like, cool. Let's keep going. See you guys next time. And holy shit! All right, I will again try and update everyone on what the fuck's going on. This video is just a declaration of the start of the whole process, as it's gonna repeat itself more and more. All right, the whole video concept, because I'll have to reiterate other points about the purge. I will discover more things, but again, I have to collect enough discoveries for this shit to matter and for a new video to pop up. For now, you have plenty of things to explore, and my job is done. Bye-bye.